This webcast provides a summary of the key findings from the Straight-Sol Project's review of past, existing, and emerging measures and initiatives relevant to the Project's 7 urban and interurban freight demonstrations. The demonstrations are listed below, and at any stage during the presentation, you can skip to another demonstration by clicking on the link at the side of the screen. For each demonstration, the purpose of the review was to identify the most important factors to take into account when designing and implementing the freight operations. What are the key do's and don'ts? This review was helpful for the Straight-Sol demonstration partners, and we hope that it is also useful more widely for anyone undertaking similar freight activities. You may also like to have a look at separate videos describing the individual demonstrations, which can be found on the project website. Urban consolidation center schemes should be carefully integrated into the existing supply networks. The key action is to take into account especially the number of stores and traffic movements. For instance, DHL conducted a survey investigating how the existing supply networks work before deciding the performance of the system and the potential stores. Another issue is the need for political will from the part of the regional authorities, which could be further translated into search of funding schemes in the form of public subsidy as well as private contribution. DHL tackled this issue by the direct participation of City Council into the project. A suggestion could be investigation of funding models through a development of business models. Also, public authorities, in order to stimulate receivers' participation, could provide incentives like marketing advertisement. To this end, Urban Consolidation Center includes a big mall, thus could attract a significant pie of demand from these stores. Another issue that Urban Consolidation Center may face is the fact that carriers may fear of losing customers and thus disregard the Urban Consolidation Center scheme. This is not likely to happen with DHL because they will address receivers as they will be the responsible ones of their corresponding shipments. Another issue that state-of-the-art review has spotted is that an Urban Consolidation Center should be efficiently located. Distance, capacity, and attraction of new demand are the core parameters of determining proper location. Safeguarding stakeholders' cooperation by introducing additional regulatory interventions, including supplementary policies, will be met by giving priority to Urban Consolidation Centers' vehicles in loading-unloading areas. Also, in any case, the City Council intends to adapt additional regulations so as to support Urban Consolidation Center initiative. The review has highlighted the need for launching Urban Consolidation Center development boards, which could act as advisory or decision-making boards towards Urban Consolidation Centers development. In this regard, an internal and external commission has been created with decision-making responsibilities, including all involved stakeholders. Findings on the review also incorporated the need for seeking for other added value activities. Potential activities are foreseen like remote storage, track and tracing, capacity of cargo, and so on. In TNT Brussels demonstration, it is indicated that electric vehicles may be costly investment. Despite purchasing new cars or vans, an alternative could be to use a subcontractor which owns the electric vehicles. The same solution is being pursued by TNT. In case there are needs for vans due to limited load factor of vehicles, a small set of them could be utilized to service the mobile depot. Another point mentioned in review is that tricycles need additional infrastructure for loading and unloading operations close to final destination points. This is the case where a mobile depot comes. The mobile depot is the special infrastructure needed for loading and unloading operations close to final destination. High traffic level in Brussels in particular makes necessary to adopt an efficient fleet distribution plan. TNT will react to this situation by allowing only one truck to enter the inner city and organize mobile depot deployment at the right time, around 9 in the morning, and at the proper place close to TNT premises. As far as introduction of electric vehicles concept concerns within new city contexts, special attention should be paid to legal and financial incentives, as well as special mobility measures that used to underpin this new concept. TNT strives for a promising concept that investigates how electric vehicles in the city of Brussels could work without such incentives and without additional environmental support. The UK charity Oxfam demonstration will use remote monitoring sensors installed in donation banks to provide twice daily reports about the fill levels of the banks. The aim is to improve efficiency of the collections by avoiding sending vehicles to banks that are half empty. The main objective for Oxfam is to maximize profit, which involves a trade-off between the value of the collected goods minus the collection costs. Remote monitoring seems to be most effective where banks fill at highly variable rates, which makes it difficult to predict when they will become full. Also, when banks are numerous and where distances between them are relatively small, like in the case of large and dense systems. The cost of the remote monitoring equipment should not be recouped through the logistics improvements alone. However, there are added benefits from improved supply chain visibility, which in Oxfam's case can aid their bank replacement strategy, that is, positioning banks in the best places to attract donations and also in helping identify theft from banks. A significant concern is the reliability of the remote sensing equipment used, which can be vulnerable to battery failure and to accidental damage or vandalism, despite being installed inside banks. The vehicle scheduling procedures will need to be able to cope with missing or suspect data. The review showed that the most common vehicle scheduling approach employs a minimum fill level parameter and a maximum fill level parameter. The minimum fill level parameter prevents collections from banks that are below a specified threshold level. The maximum fill level parameter triggers a collection and ensures that banks are visited before they become full. This approach will be adopted in Oxfam's demonstrations, and offline modeling is being undertaken to test sensitivity to the parameter values. Also, the transaction frequency of the remote monitoring data is case-specific, and in the case of Oxfam, the sensors have been configured to report 2 times a day. This is sufficient as the vehicle scheduling takes place on a daily basis. Moreover, there should be continuous evaluation of the collections both before and after the introduction of the use of the remote monitoring data over a sufficiently long time period in order to assess the demonstration properly. In this respect, the initial planning foresees frequent recording of routing and collection data like time, distance, volume of goods, and an adequate demonstration length over 2 months. Technology plays a vital role on cargo monitoring, especially when it comes to international transport legs. State-of-the-art review provided sufficient information on technical and legal issues. In practice, after the market survey and the purchasing, and during the preliminary testing of the technological equipment, several emerging problems and deficiencies were recorded. First of all, interoperability issues that may occur regarding data communication protocols of countries within international transport leg. Kuehne and Nagel faced an issue which embedded interoperability standards. The action taken was the replacement of the initial tracking system. The new one applied in Hungarian communication standards. Information and training of personnel involved in the concept and proper coordination is needed in order to facilitate communication. Coordination problems regarding the availability of personnel were also recorded, and the overcoming of this obstacle constituted to timely coordination of involved personnel and informative campaigns. These actions shall reserve staff at early stage of the pilot. Another technical issue was the frequent rate of information transmission between GPS and Kühne-Nagel's receiver. This led to unexpected irregular communication costs, which were unacceptable and unaffordable by an average SME. An alternative tested right now involves the purchasing of new SIM cards, and in case this does not work, purchasing of another GPS device that will meet the desired specifications. Proper placement of GPS devices on wagons is another issue to be taken into consideration. Proper affixing of GPS device was achieved, leading to optimal GPS signal and minimum vulnerability to external interference, damage, or malfunction. Of utmost importance in this demonstration is that mechanisms should be developed towards maintaining stakeholders' interests during and after the demonstration. Within this respect, an extensive dialogue with involved partners will be placed, aiming to identifying their needs and design proper demonstration to satisfy them. Furthermore, informative campaigns are at the heart of demonstration success, highlighting business benefits of the specific concept. GS1 has a wide network of contacts in the retail sector and has established a dialogue with main retailers, transporters, and other stakeholders about effectiveness of the demonstration. Regarding information sharing, confidentiality issues definitely occur. System is designed in such a way that it is not likely to happen any information leakage on a specific supply chain. Information database will operate independently for each stakeholder to ensure confidentiality between actors. Another concern is that those who invest should be the ones who will gain benefits by the concept. One action towards this issue is that there is special need for avoiding extra unnecessary costs. Clearer outcomes, though, could be derived only by the end of the demonstration. GS1 Norway has extensive expertise on hardware and software selection to ensure initial technical excellence. Delivery activities at nighttime hours imply greater flexibility and potentially faster and more accurate distribution activities. However, noise nuisance produced by trucks, loading equipment, and opening or closing premises is considered as the main drawback. Introduction and reconsideration of a regulatory framework with respect to labor context, as well as the adoption of low-noise equipment, is the cornerstone of the concept's success. In addition, due to the fact that carriers are considered as the motive lever of that concept, special carrier-centered incentives and policies should be implemented so as to attract many stakeholders. A MEL demonstration was finalized during the state-of-the-art review process. Findings from this review were compared with field demonstration findings, and great overlapping was pinpointed. The special issues regarded the need for implementing supplementary measures and policies together with the concept. In particular, identifying loading-unloading bays was challenging, and it was addressed by marking these places with yellow road marking and specific signage. Launching a set of supportive campaigns to inform road users and local society was also crucial, and MEL moved towards this direction by delivering some cards to familiarize the local stakeholders with the new concept and by sending infomails to citizens. Damage of the technological equipment was one of the main discrepancies. MEL has spotted similar issues pertaining to false information transmission of corrupted ground sensors or even sound sensors. To solve this gap, MEL is planning to test new detectors, more durable and more reliable. The review also stressed out the critical aspect of how road users would react in the introduction of such brand new concept. MEL faced these issues in the light of presence of jaywalkers. This kind of road users were giving wrongful directions to drivers about available parking places. ML confronted that by enhanced enforcement officer in that area. Another case has been the correlation between the information elicited by the demonstration and how this could be treated while developing the legislation. All reports and results were then provided to municipal policymakers, and there was a window for recording feedback from all stakeholders.